Hello and welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns. Today we show you another match of the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard Tournament Season 5. We are in loser bracket round 6. Matchup is Mr. Mario versus Yoyocanari. And commentators for this are Star and Dr. Popdastic. Say hello.
Hello.
Hey everyone, we're back at it again together here. Got ourselves Mr. Mario versus Yo-Yo. Good match. So
representing on the red masks there, just saying.
Okay. Yep, got ourselves Mario, a long-time runner, been in multiple main tournaments, organizer a few different things, long-time member of the community, Yo-Yo, a bit newer, who we first saw, I believe, in the Challenge Cup last season, and has now made it to top 64. Should be a really good race here. Got ourselves Mario, the number 3 seed, versus Yo, the 49th seed. But Yo's had a very good run through brackets. Most recent wins were against Czech Race, Arthur Houdini, and Epola, and then getting knocked down to losers by G-Skate, which is a pretty impressive run. Mario has most recent matches winning against Devon and Beryl, then losing to Fluthush, and then taking out Gogeta and Angle, so some pretty tough matchups they've gotten here.
Oh yeah, definitely a clash of very skilled runners. It's, at this point, anybody who's skilled enough to make top 64 after, a whole gauntlet of races is going to be able to pull out any one of these games at any given time. Because Rando does this thing where it does Rando. You ever heard of that?
Yeah. And this is, I think, the top 10 now, not including the race that was on CSR Main, which I will not spoil, and please don't spoil, chat, but this is the top 10 of the top 64 as well, so we're really getting down to the best of the best here. Yeah, we're making a very good run for Seed 49. You wouldn't necessarily expect a Seed 49 to get all these losers round 6, but here we are.
Yep, I mean, we had a similar situation with Fluthush over there as well, doing extremely well. Though I believe his match also going on or recently happened. So
we shall see how it goes. Let's see, let me back to start screen. They've raced in the same race 4 times, Mario taking 3 of those, beating Yo-Yo 3 of those 4 times, but this is their first direct 1v1 matchup. Mario's actually got a slightly higher average time for the last 10 races. Mario's got a better best time, that's always something. It's always a bit subjective, but they've been pretty consistent top performers in their most recent races as well. No worries if you're in for the end race view, in which case let's look at the starting items. Elf, Bolero, and Emerald. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we of course start with a stone, which means that doesn't give us any progress toward opening the Rainbow Bridge toward Ganon's castle. So we are going to have to clear 6 different dungeons for sure. And of course, there's always the possibility of oops all dungeons, which, tends to happen. It's a thing.
Yep.
Young Link in the well with the boomerang. Are we playing Clue? Or Cluedo, as some people call it.
Well, we'll find out.
Now I kind of want there to be a Hyrule or a Zelda themed Clue. Anyway,
we're off. Adel spawned at the bottom of DMT.
Yep, and Mario is just immediately going for the Bolero play, picking up the Prelude of Light, and checking the the heart piece there. That appears to just be a heart piece. And doing an immediate save and quit. Now, save and quit is a little bit more costly on VC than it is on normal. We also see Yo-Yo picking up a slingshot in the back grotto of Kakariko Village. I imagine Mr. Mario will be picking that up rather soon.
I can't imagine he would wait too long, yeah, because he's also heading into CAC now. And sorry, slung in the windmill. Also, the hint there was Big Worm is dead, so always good to know.
Yep. Sorry, I saw it, I just didn't mention it because I'm an idiot. Moving on.
Alright, fine. I completely missed the hint altogether, so I had to rely on chat to see the hint, so...
Alright, Anju not having a particularly generous day. We see seeds at the cow, so again, nothing huge. Though we will see Yo-Yo go for the graveyard, which is it's basically the reasonable check at this point.
I mean, you're here, there's really no reason not to. This is pretty standard early routing. Especially when your spawn is, right outside CAC. There is several checks, there's a song, there's information to be had. It's always a good place to go early, because there's a lot of checks here. Nothing in the crate.
Another heart piece at the crate there. Let's see. So one way this could benefit Yo-Yo is if he somehow picks up either a hookshot or hover boots in these checks. That would allow him to, proceed into Goron City from the back end, or whatever way you'd want to go. Proceed past the check itself, the song check in the crater. So there's arguments for doing this in either order. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, Yo-Yo is representing the whole France thing today, and that is a bow.
That is a bow on Dante Race, as well as Red P. But yes, Yo-Yo, being one of our very large French contingent within the community, is sporting the French flags on his buttons there. Blue Blanc Rouge, as usual, as we can see there. We've also seen a Belgian variant of it as well on another race with black, yellow, red.
Black, yellow, and red, yeah.
Took me a second because I was like, is it black, red, yellow, or black, yellow, red? I go brain for that sometimes.
Same. I'm a dumb American. I don't know nothing. All right, bows for both of us, and that's going to do it. Though, I imagine that Mr. Mario might go ahead and hit up the archery game with this play here.
All right, med check, fire, spirit, Jabu, shadow,
DC.
Yeah, forest is our final medallion. So our stones are pocket, Deku, and water.
Well,
that is a medallion layout for sure. Not a nice one, but it's definitely a layout.
It does sort of reduce some of the possibility of all dungeons being required for the song. It's not guaranteed, and as we discussed before, oh, hello.
Hi, that's a bomb bag on top of DC.
That is a great place to find a bomb bag.
Very convenient. Shadow is foolish. Cack is path to Baronade. 50 Skulls is dead, and Frogs 2 is dead.
Sounds reasonable. And, yeah, that does sound like the sort of thing you kind of want to see.
Yep. Back to the medallion layout. It's mixed signals, so water makes it less likely to be AD because it's less likely for ZL to be there. But Spirit being the forest medallion, Shadow being the water medallion means there are higher chances of Nocturne or Requiem being on AD. So,
Rip.
that's a complicated one.
Alright,
That's
so
gonna be-
Link the Goron officially exploded over here, and what do we get? A crying fit and piece of heart. That's fine. But we now have access to the crater from here.
Yep. That Cath to Baronade so far has gotten us a slingshot. Not exactly the most path thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it
but...
could actually lead to a like something in the Lost Woods on the target game or something like that, or it could just be like bait for Goma.
Yeah, we don't know yet. It's much too early to say. We're only 6 minutes in. That's gonna be an interesting one to figure out.
And of course, there are plenty of other items in Kakariko Village that we haven't seen yet.
Yep, King Zora is dead. So the other thing that can come up sometimes, depending on the seed, is that when there are 6 medallion dungeons like this, there are only 5 path hints. So, So normally there would be an issue of figuring out which one of our dungeons isn't getting the path today, but with the bomb bag being Sphere 0, there is not gonna, most likely not a King Dodongo path unless both the other bomb bags are bomb locked, in which case, well, that's a waste of a hint. We're gonna have to find out, as they see that GTG is Path to Twin Rova. Okay.
Make me run around your room picking chickens up, and I'm like, fuck you. Anyway.
I don't know. Yeah, GTG Path to Twin Rova is gonna be something, as Yo-Yo gets nothing off the Talon's Chickens minigame. Yeah, there is a lot of OoTR today. I was watching a random settings league before this. There's the ending weekly after this. There's another brackets race that just wrapped up. The league is ongoing. There is a lot of OTR happening. There are currently
there's our ZL sitting on Malin, so
there we are.
no AD for ZL, that's for sure.
No, there are 13 OTR races currently live on race time for context. That's how busy it is.
That's a lot of Zooter.
That is. A lot of tournament races, random settings league, as well as the league. There is this, obviously. And then there's also at least one fun race going on, as well as all the everything else. It's chaos.
The treasure chest game is BGS. That's fun.
Well, I guess they're not getting that today unless they really, really want it, and the Lens and Magic are both early.
Like if you run across Lens and Magic, and you're doing Richard, and hey, free shield. Are we team never buy a shield here, or are we just team get a shield when it's appropriate?
I prefer get a shield when appropriate. And Siberian, I should note that it is possible for Stonewater to lock ZL. I have seen it's a 2 in 10 chance that this water boss key is not ZL lock because you get a strength in the DMC wall. It's just rare. It's not impossible. I was just telling Bob before this race, in fact, how I rolled a seed where runners hard last locationed a mirror shield in ZL as Stonewater for their go mode at one point. Where their only other checks were, due to no hints, chickens, skull mask, and 20 skulls. They did not appreciate the seed.
So yeah, never. If your team never buy a shield because you never play Zooter, that is a perfectly reasonable position to be in.
And
yes,
never buy a shield in another game? Castle. Skull Mask is what now for Mario?
I missed it. I'm sorry.
King Zora is still dead. Lost his right hand is also
Wow.
dead.
Wow. Look at all these chests in my house.
Okay! That's
got a
a
hook
by
shot.
detail.
We got
And
Flores
for
Wind.
Rose. For Ruby, you'll take that, I guess.
And
the
a
wallet.
Could have used those in an opposite order.
Just a bit, yeah. The Ruby would have refilled the wallet fairly nicely, but nope.
Alright, so Mario is now going child, gonna check the medallions as well. He's going to very quickly mark them all out, figure out what he's gotta do, while Yo-Yo will also be picking up these items, only one of which is strictly required for the game here.
Yeah.
At least we know people can go mode Shadow Temple, which isn't really that impressive because you still gotta find keys, but you don't have to worry about it.
But yeah, we are... Yeah. Caxel Path to Baronade, I missed the other copy of that hint works.
So I was going to... I guess I said that Mario was going child. He's not. He's he was checking the medallions and then piecing the heck out and going to DC.
I mean, I guess you want to know if DC was worth it for a medallion, which, fair. With this bond, it's not exactly that awful, even on DC. Also want to see if there might have been a DC Foolish hit, which is worth it. DMT is Pat the King Dodongo! You don't
really?
say! Thank you!
Really? What made you come up with that idea? At least we know that the rest of the bomb bags are bomb locked then? Is that what...
I guess, but that does mean we're also Hamrock's is fires. The problem with that, unfortunately, as I was discussing earlier, is that one of our other dungeons won't get a path hint.
Oof.
And that might be information that they really need later in the scene. Like, DMT Path the King of Dongo for a Sphere 0 bomb bag is not useful information for actually routing it. It's just, okay, thank you, brilliant.
So you're only gonna get repeated path hints, or like repeat path hints for the same dungeon if there's no valid path hints for some other dungeons, right?
Well, there's only... with these settings, Bob, the randomizer tries to give one path hint for every medallion dungeon, and then if it runs out, then it'll go back. So if there's only 5 medallion dungeons, one of them is DC, and there's 2 Sphere 0 bomb bags in Vito's house, and you're gonna get a double path hint to one dungeon because there's no DC path. But if there's 6 medallion dungeons and only 5 path hints, something gets left out.
I was trying to wrap my head around a few things, because the last time I commentated one of these, we actually had 2 double path hints.
Which gets even more confusing, to be fair. That requires
and it was a stone seed.
That requires some very stupid item placements and logic, but the particulars of which are easier to explain when you're actually looking at such a seed. When we're just theory crafting and voice with not even a diagram, like a chalkboard thing to draw, and it's not going to make any sense when you're trying to explain it.
Alright, so Mario back walking down the bridge.
Oh, really, Tobias? Wow. Saying in chat how the Heat just recently commented had a triple path and a double path. That's impressive.
Nice.
Yeah, it tells us that our bomb bag locks all other bomb bags, which is not very useful information, and takes up a hint that could be sending us to our hammer or our mirror shield or something, which is much more useful than they even guys would like.
It looks like Mario didn't quite get lined up in time to drop that bomb.
Oh, apparently it was 3 paths to Bulb and 2 paths to Bulbaji. That's impressive, actually. Lol. I'm assuming that was on the Silver Gauntlets as we get Nocturne off Saria, and 50 is still dead. It was on TSG, yeah. if people want to check it out, I suppose it's over there somewhere. The Silver Gauntlet Series of Challenge got the sister tournament to the top 64. For the runners who made it to 65th to 128th in the qualifiers, you get the other copy of GTG Path to Twinrova and a hint that Shadow is still foolish. Thanks to the duplicates game.
Speaking of duplicates, I really like what Mr. Mario did there, which is, and this is just a subtle thing that most people wouldn't think about, but you know how there's a pot with bombs in it up behind that block? What he does is he goes and destroys the pot and then walks off and despawns the pot location and then comes back, spawns it again without having picked up the bomb. And so that way he gets 2 drops, and it's great. Speaking of drops, Mr. Mario dropping into King Dodongo after having picked up some blue fire in a bottle, which is, you know, hey, free fire.
Yep. Chat now posting
Not that we need it, because King Zora is dead, but
I mean, they can go ice camera now, Bob, as chat notes.
yeah, I mean, most people, what with the recently discovered, I guess recently is a poor word, but you get it. What with the somewhat recently discovered Mweep Skip, everyone thinks it's Rush to Ice O'Clock all the time.
I mean, it's been like a year or so since it was discovered, Bob. I don't think it's recent anymore.
I mean, relatively recent is my. And those are some butter boots, hover boots.
Good find.
So in before Dodongo's Cavern is on the path to Bongo Bongo hint.
Yep, because that happens. Where else can I note? Since I haven't done this yet, let's shout out to our runners. Give them a follow, MrMario7788 and Yoyocanari. Thank you also to my co-com Bob, to our trackers, Carliana and Tenacious Toad, and thank you to our restreamer Siberian, as well as merci beaucoup, Zoro et Mieka pour les signes françaises. Because we can't do this without volunteers. We are all indeed volunteers. We are not paid for this. We volunteer. We do this work because we think it's fun. As good timing, Lil. Hey, ZSR main. Thank you to our sister channel rating with a party of 163.
I guess that mess of a race must have finished. Don't tell me the ending.
Yep. Welcome in, rating from a different OoTR race. We're about 18 minutes into this one. It's going. Got a fair few items early, got a couple of path hints, some of which are obvious, some of which are haven't seen it, don't know yet. Not too bad actually so far, it just exists really at this point.
Yep, basically we had, real quick way to get to DC with the bomb bag being on top of DC. And Yo-Yo hasn't gone there, so he's just kind of looking at the chests in the back. Yep. Hopefully he'll be able to tell that none of those are important. That is a check there that is much easier to do when you don't have magic.
Yep, because magic will actually darken your screen.
No, you want to shoot the other one, Yo-Yo. There you go. The one on the left, for some reason, its hitbox is covered up.
Yeah. Alright,
I think
so
you
now
can hit it, but it's very specific. Anyway.
Alright, now it's time for Forest Temple. They have a bow, they have a hookshot, they have a strength, and it's a medallion. Double Forest, everyone. Let's have some fun.
Yep. So, basically, going to Forest here is an excellent play. It is a good play to do. It is also going to be quite obnoxious. And Mr. Mario doing the Mito skip,
Tried a few times on the regular, might just skip, failed and decided, yeah, screw it, I'll just play the song.
Yeah. Especially if you're gonna have to come back this way eventually, ever again. You probably won't, but who knows?
Gonna also check the scrub grotto here. Yo-Yo's is losing a little time with every minute he doesn't have a bomb back, because he's going to have to backtrack for things as he gets Serenade here from Minuet.
Serenade, nice transportation song, does not unlock a blame thing.
Nope. Not in these settings, at least.
Yeah, I guess in some sort of, like, entrance stuff, that could end up being your only way to Lake Hylia, which is fun.
Yep. Or if it's warp song destinations at random, that could be your only trip warp to Nocturnes.
Oh, speaking of bomb bag backtracking, there's Strength 2 in the Wolfos Grotto for Mario.
Yep. Chad's saying they don't have Strength 2, so they're gonna have to come back eventually. I'm not sure they have to backtrack all the way here for, but there is a Strength 2 in any case.
GTG on the path to Twin Rova. I think Yo-Yo probably saw that earlier, but
Yeah, he did.
I don't remember it being mentioned. Maybe I'm just oblivious.
I think I was rattling it off in amongst the everything else you found in XFM mid-sentence.
Fair enough.
Commentary, is, well, it's fun, but, we also spout a bunch of nonsense sometimes, to be fair. Trying to come up with stuff to talk about for 3 hours can get hard sometimes.
Tell me about it.
Such as having to adapt your items to what you say to stuff that turns up mid-sentence. It's always fun when you're talking about how the lack of an item is making a difference on this person's routing and what that does for logic, and then it shows up mid-sentence and you're like, oh, never mind, there it is.
So yeah. Now you'll note we have a setting on for those of you who aren't necessarily quite familiar with exactly what's going on. We have a setting on for this particular tournament called Chest Size Matches Contents. So when you have a chest show up in this game, if it contains a major item, you know, something that would like show up in your inventory or on your equipment screen, something like that, then it will be in a large chest, where minor items will show up in small chests. And so a lot of times you'll see runners look at the item or look at the chest and then just walk away, and that may confuse some people. And of course, you also see that the chests with a the chests that are small that have the pattern for the boss key on them, those contain small keys, and then the normal boss key chest will have the boss key pattern as well. And so some runners will be skipping out on some of these chests, but here's a big one, as you can see, and that's the Lens of Truth, which
Okay,
I mean, I'm not opposed to BGS, but we do need magic before that becomes relevant.
Yep. Otherwise, they don't need it.
I'm telling you though, if I get to the point in this seed, if I know that BGS is on Treasure Chest game, and I'm doing Richard anyway, I'm going for a 1 in 32 one time just to see if I can get BGS. Just for fun.
Fair,
I mean, maybe not in a tournament scenario.
I was going to say, Bob, maybe
but
not in a tournament.
if I'm doing the seed by myself, because clearly I would never be in a high-stakes tournament scenario like this, that's what I'm doing.
Fair, I mean, you can do whatever you want in the first in the seed. Tournament races, you do want to generally try to be a little bit more efficient. So this does vary. So with CSMC, one of the things to discuss is how many small chests do you open before you quit? Because small chests can have useful things like hearts or bomb chews, which are due to chews are in small chests if they are not in logic. They're like an extra bonus, but they're not major items for these settings.
And I think if the chews were considered in logic, they would then be in big chests.
They would. That is the point. Is that since they are not in logic, they are in small chests. But runners will often open some early chests to get chews or to get hearts. But at this point, Mario has explosives. Yo-Yo, well, just doesn't want to open small chests, I think. Yeah, like Mario, for example, he has explosives, he has a wallet, he has a bottle, because the other consideration with hearts is, besides just, not as much for top runners, but for more mid-tier runners, if you're still a little unsure about running an entire seed on 3 hearts, it might be nice to have a little bit extra safety.
Yeah. Yo-Yo actually has
everybody's
been
comfort
a few
level
more
varies.
chests here than Mr. Mario. For example, he opened the island chest and things like that. Nice recoil there to get to the ledge with the
Floormaster.
The Floormaster chest. Hey, words. Words are words.
We can commentate, we promise. But yes, runners will generally open various amounts. So like for Mario, yeah, has noted his opening last chest because he has a wallet to buy a Goron tunic, he has a bottle as well as a safety, and he's got his explosives. He's a happy camper, he doesn't really need to open small chests anymore. He can, has, and will finish entire seeds on 3 hearts. Mario is an RSL veteran, and if I say veteran and an organizer there, he is well familiar with playing an entire seed on minimal OCO. In fact, this is nothing compared to that. Melee, Spirit Trial 2 being locking lights would technically require bomb shoes, but logic assumes that with that bomb bag gets you access to bomb shoes in the bomb shoe shop in Night Market.
Right.
So that's just, and the same goes for if you've got an exceptionally stupid exact skull count seed. The Tower skull is the same if you don't have a slingshot.
Right.
Those are about and that one's pretty rare to be honest. You can pretty much get it out of logic at that point anyhow, but those are the 2 points where that comes up really.
I have in fact seen the whole thing where you can get those particular, like the CAC, at least the CAC Watchtower seed, you can get that without anything if you do a jump slash at just the right time.
Correct. And then Spirit Trial you can skip with Bow, which these guys could definitely do. Yo-Yo as well is pretty comfortable on low hearts. Pretty much anyone in the top 64 is. More of his concern, I think, at this point is getting explosives more than anything else, but he will also soon stop with small chests.
Right. Yeah, because of course Yo-Yo has not looked at on top of DC, which, you know, it happens. It's a little weird considering where adult spawn is, that the top of DC has not been checked. But
it might be just far enough you can't see it from the spawn.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't just
I'll do it eventually.
You can't just look at it. You would have to move, but sometimes you want to save DMT for when you know you're going to DC, and you don't know that you're going to DC, not without that bomb bag. So there you go.
And the command needs to be updated. The child spawn is outside the castle. It's the owl drop, in fact. So if they do end up needing to do AD, they've got a quick way there. Their spawn is right in the cutscene, basically. Well, yeah. Cutscene, because it's removed in rando.
Ah, so I see you put vocal air quotes on that. Got it.
Yes. GTG likely has access to Mirror Shield, but it could be magic, it could be Spirit, other logic. Spirit Temple gets complicated. GTG is too complicated. It is too early to say yet what that's for. We don't have access to GTG logically or practically at the moment, though. No long shot, no opponents, and no Requiem.
We just have shout-outs to Deku Nuts, the most underrated item in the game, over here, allowing Yo-Yo and Mario to pretty easily take care of these stall fills without having to worry about taking damage.
Actually, speaking of our discussion of CSMC, I should note as well, because I was watching some random settings league races earlier, and seeing just CSMC is, throwing me for a minor loop, because I was watching races with CTMC. So this is a relatively new setting in the development builds that is not available on 6.2, but is in more recent versions of dev. Is just texture matches contents. So there is a gold Triforce texture for major items, there's a special spiderweb texture for Sculpture tokens if those are shuffled. Boss keys and small keys now have their distinct textures. Small Triforce pieces have a texture of their own as well. And then and then just junk items have just the plain brown texture, pretty much.
And so I imagine the intent with that is to keep the spirit of chest size matches contents without like actually physically changing the size of these objects, which can mess with the geometry and mess up.
Get some really silly things, yes. You can also do both CTMC and CSMC at the same time, so there's two levels of CTMC now in dev at the moment. So you can do just CTMC or CTMC and CSMC combined. It's something that's really interesting to see visually. It's kind of hard to describe in just in voice, but if you check out some of the Random Settings League matches, you're about to see some interesting stuff, because Random Settings League is, well, it's a really interesting, it randomizes the settings, as per the name. There are weights to various things, so for example, I saw a C today with mixed simple indoors and grottos entrance randomizer. So for example, the Tektite Grotto was in the Zora domain shop. That one also had boss key sanity, that was 3-stone bridge, no, that was a vanilla bridge, and interesting stuff. These two are also almost synced right now here in Forest pushing the blocks. The RSL is super fun. If you're new to it, most of the races right now, because we're in Swiss, are not restreamed, but we did have one restreamed over on CSR main just yesterday, if people want to check that out. It's quite fun. A bit of a change of pace from the standard settings here that we're seeing right now.
I feel like I might see if I can try to commentate one of those sometime, just because it sounds like a fun time. Anyway.
Oh, it's great fun. There were 6 RSL races today. A couple already ended. There's a few more that are still ongoing. They've got 38 runners in the tournament this year. So and with the rest, I think 7 rounds of Swiss, there's a lot going on.
All right, so we're on Meg fight time.
Axel, you're not wrong. Saying the best developer setting is pot setting just for you'll never find the light arrows in those spots over there. Have you seen this one yet, Bob?
No, I've seen the Link to the Past version of it.
Pot Sanity is exactly what it sounds like. There is a recent new build created by Real Rob, thank you very much, that adds freestanding rupees and hearts, the pots, as well as the crates into the shuffle.
So
It is just as insane as it sounds. Hey Rob, speaking of the devil, there he is.
Wow, the sync is getting even more syncy here.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to make the
content. Yeah, PTMC and crate pot texture matches contents and crate texture matches contents are both also settings now.
That's ridiculous. But yes, I'm going to go ahead and make the appeal to the people running this that you adopt the Link to the Past name of Pottery Lottery.
Oh jeez. Nice. And I just posted a link. So Pot Sanity shuffles the pots. The guardhouse suddenly becomes one of the most ridiculous places in the game, though not quite as ridiculous as you might think, because apparently there are several that share flags. So there's only about 20 checks in there instead of 50. It's still insane though. It's the link I just posted though is a particularly hilarious screenshot. You know, there's a bunch of pots in Ganondorf's room at the bottom that usually have like some arrows and magic and what have you, Bob.
Yep.
Those can have your light arrows now in pot sanity.
Beautiful.
And that link I just posted of the Discord picture, that is a picture of Ganondorf telling you, "You'll never beat me with those light arrows from those pots over there." One of my favorite new hidden texts. It's great.
Alright, well, that being said, having gone through our, mandatory 20-minute dungeon slog here, we do now have both of our runners on the Phantom Ganon fight, which is not a trivial fight, especially if you're trying to do this in the quickest manner possible. Mr. Mario had Ganon had PG set up for at least kind of in the area for the zero cycle situation, but it just doesn't look like it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, nice! Trying to sort of stun lock him there, but that wasn't going to work, or didn't work that particular time. I do feel like Mr. Mario is going to get it pretty quick here. So yeah,
And
when you just got the Master Sword here, unless you're incredibly lucky or incredibly skilled, it's very hard to get a one cycle on Phantom Ganon with the Master Sword.
yeah. Just as they both finish up Phantom Ganon, just to wrap up the pot sanity and everything discussion, here's a fun fact. With the new settings, pots, crates, and everything, Master Quest Water is now one of the most ridiculous places in the game. It can have as many as 123 checks. Apparently, there's a frankly ridiculous amount of crates in there, as well as pots and other things.
Yeah, I don't even think I've done Master Quest Water Temple. Not gonna lie. Okay,
Fair.
so
DC is Path to Volvagia.
Really?
For a bottle? What?
hover boots.
Oh, hover boots were in there. I was like, that
Of
can't
course.
be the bottle, can it?
Yeah,
Because that would be
hover
really
boots
stupid.
hover boots is definitely something that it can require you do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I was like, I forgot the hovers and was thinking the bottle, and I was like, that doesn't make much sense. It could be, but it's just, hovers make more sense, though. Also, Composer Grave Chest is dead. That's some bomb shoes on Lax, which is nice.
Oh, okay, that's the Composer Grave chest is.
Yes, also known as the Royal Tomb now in hints, though I tend to think of it still as a Composer Grave.
Royal Tomb is technically correct because the Composer's graves are technically outside, but the composers left their song in the Royal Grave, so
Basically,
Nice.
we're being pedantic. There's Yo-Yo seeing the bomb bag.
Yep. Yo-Yo finally sees that. He's like, really?
He's gonna be even more exasperated.
I don't know what the French word for really is, but
Sérieusement works. And yes, that is exactly what it sounds like. Sérieusement.
oh, seriously, right.
Ment, M-E-N-T, the suffix is the French equivalent to ly in terms of adverbs, basically.
That one makes sense because it's similar in Spanish, M-E-N-T-E.
Makes sense.
All right, so Yo-Yo entering DC, gonna get, again, a very quick situation here. Almost got the bomb exploded with the arrow. And Mr. Mario gonna acquire a little more currency.
And Yo probably rolling his eyes to the hint. Thank you! Of course, DMTs had to keep longer for the bomb man. Really needed it. Thanks, game. And Sérieuxement is spelled with an accent, because otherwise, without the accent, it'd be Sérieusement, and not Sérieusement. The difference is probably subtle, especially with the mic, but that's what it is. There's the other copy of the DC.
I'm assuming the second one there is actually sorry as mountain, right?
So the accent makes the first syllable sound more like say, so Sérieusement, versus if I can manage to not completely just, switch my brain entirely over to French, versus, okay, English, there we are, versus, if it's just SE without the accent, then it becomes se, which is sérieusement. It's, the difference is subtle in pronunciation, but it's technically distinct.
The only French I learned from a cartoon called Freakazoid. In a short section called Frenching with Freakazoid. And the phrase was Qui a coupé le fromage?
Oh,
which is who cut the cheese.
Qui a coupé le fromage?
Yep.
Even with your exceptionally terrible accent, I can tell what that meant.
Oh yeah, my accent is garbage. Like I said, French is not something I know. Anyway, so there's this thing called a randomizer race going on.
Yes,
we're about to pick up some ZL right here for Mario.
Omelette du fromage, yes, which is apparently a running meme. I don't know that. Omelette is exactly what it's the same word in English. They just borrowed it. Du is from the preposition, and fromage is cheese.
So it's basically just like cheese omelet.
I'm not even going to bother repeating the name, Zucker, but yes. And Du gets into some fun. It is spelled DU, but it is not pronounced do. It is pronounced du. This is a sound that does not exist in English, so I have seen many people get this mixed up. But du, but it is a sound that exists in Mandarin, so that's been a little fun to figure out that. Du fromage. French is an interesting language. I mean, all languages are interesting. We've got quite the international community here. No is French. I see people from all over the place. Germans, numerous Germans, probably a few Dutch in here, US. I think there's at least one Spaniard in chat, plus plenty of others who I don't have the nationalities memorized of, because there's no way to remember everyone. It's nice to get to meet a variety of people.
So, shout outs to Yo-Yo pulling off the specific location you have to be in to pull that block all the way from the wall to the hole. Very, very nice spot there. Ladies and gentlemen, and all others concerned, we have chickens.
And some of our German community members in chat discussing a city name that many Americans goof. Is that closer to Aspa? My German is also quite bad. In case people are wondering, English and Mandarin are my native languages. French is a relatively recent third. I've spoken it for 11 years, so it's relatively recent.
Well, if 11 years is relatively recent, then certainly 1 year for the King Zora skip is relatively recent. Just saying.
I mean, relative to how old I am, Bob, I am older than 11.
Are you sure? No, I'm kidding. I'm saying that because I'm just so much older than most people around here.
I mean, I'm not going to ask her age, since I'm not going to reveal my own, but yeah.
Well,
I guess I could say not recent, but latest, yes. It is recent in geological terms, yeah.
Very true.
Now we're being pedants. The scene itself is fine, by the way, Tandarin. We're going off on tangents because we're seeing chickens and stuff we've already seen.
All right. Speaking of chickens, we are about
Oh,
to go.
Alsfashion is actually Exit Road. Thank you for the correction, Tobias, and so it's being a goof. Thank you. Also, how bad's my pronunciation? We're going off on tangents, chat. Sorry. Back on topic. The Redwood Grotto is new, as is Salad Juice Chickens, giving us a. Oh boy, that's
Ooh.
fun.
Oh.
Kokiri Sword.
Yeah,
and Juice
that
Chickens.
unlocks the entirety of Deku Tree, and of course, now we know that Deku Tree is a stone, but again, there's several items in there, and we have the slingshot, which could be pointing us toward Goma there. So that is a real, actual thing that could really actually exist.
Yeah, not to mention, Cat
And
is
we-
Path to
yeah.
Marinate. It could be
So
for
we could
that.
definitely find. It could definitely be that like the boomerang or the Ruto's letter is now in Deku Tree just because of that.
I mean, there's very little in the Slingshot lock, so that's our other contender right now for it. It wasn't 10 skulls in any case, and Slingshot, well, one of the only two things Slingshot locks is also stuck behind the Kokiri sword.
Yeah. Now, the that path hint. So it wouldn't be 30, 40, or 50 skulls because those are always hinted.
Yep, those are separately hinted.
If 20 is hinted, it also wouldn't be 20.
Nope. Same goes for Burning Cack. The odds of that are 0 because in that case that ain't it, as Jabu locks Burning Cack. Okay, 40 is dead per that hint there, speaking of skulls hints.
Alright, so we're going to see the Din's Fairy here. And we have seen that the chest in this grave is DED dead.
Hey, it's a hammer.
Wow. And a bomb-locked hammer makes sense.
Yep, So, here's another fun fact. So logically, a path hint or always hint cannot be locked behind the item it is hinting. So, the Boulder of Destiny copy of the DC path hint is bomb locked, but the one in DC is not bomb locked. You can technically get it by using a strength upgrade. Does it functionally matter considering the bomb bag was on top of DC? No, but it can be interesting to think about where the logical copy of hint might be. As we see double defense on Poland.
Yep. Mr. Mario leaving the double defense behind. We see Song of Time at Requiem.
Or was Requiem, because I completely missed it. Oh, Composer Grave.
Right, he just picked it up. He was literally right there. I don't know what my brain is doing.
You're fine. I also forgot for a second too, as I get nothing off Richard. And I do specialize somewhat in fun facts. I've been part of the community for almost exactly 2 years now. I joined during pretty much right as the pandemic started, timing-wise, so that was fun.
I mean, it certainly gives you something to do.
Yes, it does. I have no idea what's on the Arch chat asking in Clutch. I have no idea. Hopefully someone with better eyes than me can tell, because I can't.
Alright, so Mario is now heading over to CAC as a child. We can do the digging game, Dompe digging. It's less of a game in this and more of a, here, have a thing.
Yep.
Also, you can get more skulls.
Which is good, because 20 has a high chance of being the CAC path, where there's not that much available. Chat cannot agree as to what is on the arch.
Oh, yeah, his time might not be right for digging, now that I think about it.
It was already nighttime when he was outside castle, and I think that's too. I don't think the timing works for it.
Yeah, it's a pretty short timing. Anyways, so shoutouts to Reverse Wasteland over on Yo-Yo's side.
This makes sense, honestly. He can do quite a bit of GTG with bow and hookshot and Song of Time, and it is Path to Twinrova.
Unfortunately, because Yo-Yo didn't have the bombs when he went over the forest, he didn't pick up Strength 2 in the Wolfos Grotto, which would have made things even better.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, but it is still good information. He might well find the path item here. There's only 4 checks directly locked behind Strength 2 in GTG.
Yep. Alright, so Mario will also be picking up the good old Requiem here.
Yep. We might see Child Spirit from him, because we do have a Slingshot, and Slingshot can actually be for Child Spirit if Boomerang's not available. That is a big chest with a fortress roof.
But first it's time for butt stabbing.
Yes, it is. Because there is a nifty little glitch here where, for some reason, because OT is a very well-coded video game, you can just use your hookshot to put the guard into the torch and make the fight a lot easier. I don't know how it works, technically, but Beyond OT is a well-coded game, but it's always fun to see. It makes the fight a lot easier, so why not?
Basically, I think the guard is programmed to react to the hookshot in a certain way, but because you're up in the corner and there's an object between you and there, it actually sort of wants to get close to you, but lands on top of that and doesn't proceed any further. Kind of gets stuck in the geometry.
Makes sense. I couldn't see what was on the arch the second time either for Mario. It was nighttime, so it's not a rupee, because those really stand out at night. It's not a rupee, it's not a heart piece, but beyond that, I still don't know what it is.
So you say it's more like wall... Oh, Stone of Agony, what up? Debated. Anyway, you say it's more like wall stabbing. I get that. The idea is that you're stabbing the Gerudo guard with your rear end, essentially. The because you're up against the wall, the sword hitbox gets pushed backwards, and you get sort of a hitbox behind you. I think there's just a hitbox behind you when you do a crouch stab a little bit, anyway. But
Alright, path to Twinrova GTG. 2 keys in the lobby. I will be keeping track of this to know what's in logic and what isn't, as we get a key on Child Spirit, which I will also be tracking.
yeah, I guess that is technically called the butt of the sword, too, so I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Am I too much of a fantasy fan so I know what sword parts are called? I mean, it happens. Miss Dagger, one of my favorite series, discusses a lot about swordsmanship, so I know a little myself as we get another bottle in Child Spirit.
That just makes me think of Alan Bear of the Spiked Butt.
Mm-hmm. And this is not yet the key logic portion of today's show. This is the prelude to the key logic portion, which will be later. Me writing down the keys is not necessarily me actually going into detail about the keys.
Key logic, time is here.
I am a little surprised that Mario didn't climb further in Spirit, though, because you don't have a fire source. So doing those checks as an adult would be a pain, as we get into the key on the freestanding in GTG.
Sorry, you said prelude to key logic. I couldn't stop myself. Anyway.
There's also a... Oh, don't ask.
Anyway.
But back to the actual race.
So we're seeing quite a few checks here in GTG. Nothing, like, earth-shattering just yet.
We've gotten a few keys, and that's about it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a small chest, just a regular small chest in the fire ring, so I'm bad at telling. And the enemy's chest is a small key. Okay, that's key number 5.
And we'll get a quick save and
And
quit. Yeah.
yeah, gonna go around the left side of GTG now, see what's over there. Oh yeah, I forgot entirely there for our CAC path that Saria-san was also in the windmill. That could be path. I 100% forgot about it, to be honest, but that is a thing.
Yeah. And, of course, Zarya is logically locking the whole forest trip and all that mess.
Forest had a lens in it, which we know to be logically irrelevant since we have Requiem and the lens game is a BGS, which while nice does nothing logically for you.
Right.
But Saria-san could be locking something on Skull Kid, it could be locking Darunia.
Yeah, I think Mr. Mario did Skull Kid. Or
Maybe,
somebody did Skull Kid. I know somebody... No, it was definitely Yo-Yo that did Skull Kid.
Okay,
Sorry.
chat confirming. Thank you, Siberia, in our race streamer that it was. It's like it was dead, but Darunia could be it still yet. Now
And we'll also get a Hot Rudder Goron check, and probably Pottery as well.
I would be more confused if he didn't do those checks because they're not hinted.
Additional garbage.
Also, we are missing at present. We have seen paths to Baronade, Twinrova, Volvagia, and King Dodongo. Our final path hint will be either Bongo Bongo or Phantom Ganon, and we don't know which yet is. Okay, Darunia is dead, so Saria-san is logically irrelevant for anything in terms of locking actual checks.
Alright, Yo-Yo finding another small key here on the eye statues.
Yep.
Small keys
Yeah.
are, in fact, a fixture of GTG. There's not a small number of them.
There are 9 of them, in fact. That is a 7th key there.
Alright. Pottery
So with
spinning round and
CSMC,
round.
with CSMC, you can peek the center chest, so I assume you peeked it and saw that it was nothing because you didn't bother picking up that key.
Okay, how did Mr. Mario cancel the pottery scene?
I have no idea. Also, fun fact that Magic Pot on the eye statue is the only freestanding magic pot in the game, apparently. Thanks for letting us know, chat. That's interesting.
Alright, well, we've got a big chest in the maze. What do we got?
Ruto's letter!
Letter.
Okay, that's path to Twinrova then. Most likely that is. It could be, behind the silver block.
Yeah, silver block. But at the very least, could very well end up being something locked behind.
Ooh, that's Dins on Skull Mask. They did not get a hint for that I can recall. I go into no
Mr.
wait
Mario
no
did.
Mario did. I forgot. Just not.
But we just didn't see what it was.
That would be why. Yo-Yo's gonna want that hint at some point. That was in Lost Woods Bomb Grotto, but Yo didn't have bombs earlier, which is also the reason why he didn't get his strength 2 from the Wolfus Grotto. That's not ideal for him.
And I mean, he's walking right by the Wolfos Grotto now. I guess he intends to get it on the way back, or...
You're looking at the wrong
Mario.
runner.
I am brain. My brain does a brain thing, and occasionally it does a brain thing.
Uh,
You're welcome.
Eyeball
Moving
Frog,
on.
which we know to be dead.
All right, there's our nocturne for Mr. Mario there, which Yo-Yo already had that, of course, but
He did not. As we see, OT is Sun Song. Okay, that exists. Probably not required until it is, and then they're gonna be here for a while. Oh boy.
yep, welcome to the 1 hour mark here on ZSR2.
Let's give a shout out to our runners, MrMario and Yoyocanari, Goron City. Thanks, game! That actually is good for Yo-Yo, Goron City, Foolish, and Back Lake because he's gonna be able to skip Child Lake there, which is a good couple minutes of time. But yeah, let's do some shoutouts to our runners, MrMario and Yoyocanari, to my co-com Bob, to our trackers Carliana, and Tenacious Toad, to our restreamer Siberian, and to our French restream as well. Merci beaucoup.
Also, shout outs to Mr. Mario actually selling the skull mask.
Oh yeah, he's going for the bunny hood, it looks like.
Oh yeah. Somehow I don't think that's actually going to happen. But
I don't think so either, but you never know.
well, we got our wonderful Goron tunic money now.
Mm-hmm. Alright, Wood's target is a Bloopy. So yeah, our CAC path is pointing strongly at Deku Tree. Oh dear. We're gonna see Deku in a few minutes from Mario once he finishes out Lost Woods, but that's gonna be interesting to see what's in there, cause something's path to Baronade here in CAC, and we haven't seen what yet.
Whoa!
That's a long shot!
Long shot.
There's the other copy of the CAC to Baronade hint. Water Temple could be a thing, yes. We don't have Iron Boots to get in there yet. Yeah, AD is almost full clearable. We just need a way to get into Water Temple at this point.
Though, if I had to guess right now, it's probably just for logical GTG access, given the fact that we don't have an opponent song or anything like that.
Well, Rudo's... Sorry, what? Repeat that, Bob?
So getting the long shot there was probably for logical GTG access right now, not necessarily
Yes,
to
that
go
is
finish
correct.
water.
Yep, sorry, I had a brain fart and in the process as Yo-Yo sees it.
Yo-Yo
Hint.
getting the Din's hint.
Yep. Mario going Deku makes a lot of sense. Not only is it dense, it's just also literally path at the moment for him. I'd be more confused if he wasn't going Deku.
There has got to be something in here, or I'm just
It's either in here.
wrong.
It's either in here on 20 Skulls, or you're doing AD for Sensong. It's not that much a Kokiri Sword Life, and we've done almost everything else in CAC.
There's a big old chest. What do we got? Nope, second bow. That is not a thing.
It. Nope. We might not. I'm wondering what our bongo hit is, because I'm not sure we're getting a Phantom Cannon hit. Both hook shots were early, both strengths were early, and both bows were early. And Sorry Song might was like we might get a CAC to PG hint, but that would be the only thing. And I don't think even Forest can lock Minuet for that matter. So I'm wondering what our Bongo path is gonna be, because I think that's what we're gonna get. We haven't seen Bongo or Phantom Ganon paths. I don't think we're getting a Phantom Ganon path today.
I think theoretically Forest could lock Minuet just because Saria's is available.
Forest itself had nothing and Lax was junk.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, Bob, in the seed.
But yeah, in this particular seed, yeah. I see what you're talking about.
What was
we have to get on the same page here.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, hello.
Goron City is still foolish, thank you. And
there's a ring. We were definitely expecting a ring over here.
Yes, we were. That solves that. Kokiri Sword, Path 2, Baronade, 4-8, Boomerang, and Decage Tree. That's gonna be tough on Yo-Yo, because that's a... Chickens being required is always rough. If you don't do it. Frax 2 is still dead. Chat, what was the River Grotto hint, by the way, because I totally missed that earlier.
Same.
And yeah, chickens are required.
MrMario is also going for the whole 20 skulls situation here. I don't think we've seen the 30 skulls.
No, we have not. Oh, hey, there's our Bongo path. Unfortunately, it's less than helpful. Kokiri's path to Bongo. Let's see. What all did we... Let's see. I think so, yes. I mean, we only got 3 different nature items in Mitos.
Yeah, but I mean, only one of those was like strictly required, but it was the hookshot, so it's obviously that.
Well, that's actually complicated because the other hookshot is equally available, Bob. Oh, Zora's Fountain, Foolish, and Zora's Fountain. Thanks, game.
That's interesting. Maybe that means something like magic is locked behind fire, because the other items
there was a wallet in it.
Yeah, it was wallet and Farore's Wind. And Farore's Wind is only required for one location, and it's not randomized.
It's also a trick now, Bob. That is changed as of 6.0, I think. Water Central Pillar Skull you can get it with Farore's in no long shot. Very short version. As Goma gives us a... Thanks, Gabe. Nice slingshot. Brilliant slingshot. Nice to have on Goma. The song and Cack is... yeah. Yo-Yo should be doing chicken soonish at least, because the Cack path, and he hasn't found much of anything. He knows Sarius has blocked a Jackal, and he has the Goron City floor, so he knows it's not Darunia. He can check Skull, can eliminate that. He can do that on his way to Skull Mask for Dins. And then just 20 skulls is like the only other check he's got left.
I physically cannot tell what the size of that chest is.
I can't either. I think it's... the slingshot is not path to the boomerang. You needed Kokiri Sword to get in, but the Kokiri Sword wasn't slingshot locked and the boomerang wasn't either.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a fun seed. Yeah, that Kokiri path to Bongo is a wallet and there's a hookshot. We haven't seen a Goron tunic. That is logical. If it is if it is referring to the hookshot that we found there, that is going to be logical long shot, because the other hookshot's just as available. You get the Sphere Zero bomb bag from top of DC, and you use that Sphere Zero bomb bag to climb all the way up the MT. ZL is not in fact hookshot locked in any form or fashion because it was on Malin.
Yep. So there you go.
Yep. Alright, hammerless fire, not actually a bad idea. Might as well see if there's any keys here. Or no, he has a hammer. I'm scatterbraining. This makes a lot of sense. He can be displaced. Assuming that Balski's not on Pierre, that is, because Mario doesn't have Pierre set.
Yeah, and I'm not entirely certain if Pixel Shot is a thing you can do with just Hook Shot.
It is not.
That's what I thought.
It's barely reachable with Long Shot, Bob. It's definitely not reachable with Hook Shot. Sorry, but yeah, for those who don't know, go ahead.
I was going to talk about Flare Dancer here, because it's kind of one of my favorite things. How, for some reason, it shares the damage table that Ganon does, and so the Master Sword deals more damage to it than anything. So you, once again, set up the Master Sword Jump Slash, but you need to hit something with a hammer to knock it down. But the fact that you can crouch stab the wall and it still act like a hammer for that purpose is pretty hilarious, and I love it.
It's great, yeah. So what I was going to discuss is Pixel Shot, as you get 2 keys in the basement loop. Pixel Shot, for those who are not familiar, is a technique that one can use in the upper maze of Fire Temple. Normally, to get the 2 chests up on, I believe, the east tower of Fire Temple at the very top, there are 2 Skulltulas and a chest up there. You are supposed to go set Pierre, the Scarecrow, in Lake Hylia, and then summon him to hookshot to an elevator to go up there. However, if you have Longshot, there is a very finicky and very precise trick. It is called Pixel Shot for a reason. That lets you get up there with just lets you longshot the elevator directly instead of using Pierre to get up there. To use Pierre to get enough height to then hookshot the elevator is how you're normally supposed to do it. But you can longshot the elevator from a very, very precise position and aim. And that is what Pixel Shot is. These guys both know it. I think every top 64 runner does, but it is not easy. Nor can they actually do it right now, or at least Mario can, because he doesn't have a long shot.
Also, shoutouts to Mario picking up a fairy there in the pre-Volvagia room. Just to let you know that, runners of every skill level, doesn't matter. Sometimes you want some safety. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's also just the literal practical thing that he can only survive so long on 48 seconds.
Yeah. Now, I think everything going up the tower here can be done in 40 some odd seconds. But, in case something goes horribly wrong, I love it.
Yeah. It is long shot or wallet path to Bongo. Not long shot can be path, but it is long shot and not hook shot as a distinction. Discussion in chat.
Yeah, so I like the chance of there being something important here in Fire Temple.
Yeah, there's a very good chance of it. I mean, it's this, shoot the sun, couple things in Water Temple. It's not that much.
I mean, it could just be like in
also,
Jabu though, what with the whole like long shot potentially being required for logical GTG access.
It could be, yes. It could also be. 20 we know. Well, the CAC path is confirmed with Boomerang and Deku Tree. The Sword on Chickens confirms that 100%.
Alright, and Mr. Mario getting past the hot rooms, no real issue there.
Yep.
I mean, did anyone expect anything different? I don't think so.
Not from the number 3 seed, at least. Mario did not get the number 3 seed for nothing there. It is a very tough position to earn, especially we had a very competitive field this year. One of Yo-Yo's wins, in fact, during brackets was against the number 1 seed, Ecola.
Mm-hmm. who actually has been eliminated from this tournament. So, so yeah, it's a pretty pretty cutthroat situation here. Anybody, doesn't matter what your purported level of skill is or how you did in the qualifiers, anybody could take any given race.
Oh, for sure. Especially
Ooh,
because
there's a big
sometimes.
chest.
No. Also, yeah, Bob. Especially also because this is an old and overused joke, but rando is rando. Sometimes you make
That
all
it
the
is.
logical plays, you route in a way that makes sense with the items you did, and it just doesn't work. And that's how it goes sometimes.
So, like, a lot of some other randomizers try to do like best of 3 or something to sort of mitigate that. I don't think best of 3 really works with Zooter because that's just a huge time commitment. You know what I mean?
It would, well, it certainly would level out, somewhat, level out the effects of rando being rando. Yeah, it would be a nightmare from a tournament organization standpoint. Speaking as a tournament organizer,
Mm-hmm. It's hard enough just to get 64 runners to schedule one race in a week or 2 weeks, depending on what your time frame is.
Like for single limb tourneys, we'll typically do best of 3 for semis and finals, but because there's semis and finals, especially on single limb. But otherwise, it gets too brutal for everyone involved.
But yeah, welcome to everybody coming in from Jimbo TV.
Welcome in,
Thanks
Jimbo,
for
rating the party of 5.
stopping by.
Hello there. We're and here's the thing too. Best of 3 would not be all at once. It would be separate races scheduled individually. That would really add up.
Oh yeah, having to do like the double header or the triple header would be absurd. Then the silver scale. Interesting.
Scale in Fire Temple. And
that can definitely lead to things.
Yes, it doesn't lock a lot of things, but it does lock some things.
I mean,
that's a bit concerning, actually.
Definitely, for sure, the whole the item in the lake. That's the first thing that comes to mind. And of course, if you've got double scale, you could get Tektite Grotto with that. You could get Lab Dive with that. I always love a good Iron Boots on Lab Dive just to troll the snot out of you.
Oh, those are always fun. Especially because Longshot is also an option for our path. The Rudo's Letter spot. Rudo's Letter itself isn't GTG, but we're referring to the Rudo's Letter spot, which is where the Rudo's Letter can be found in vanilla. It is just outside the lake laboratory. There is a spot in the lake where you dive to with the silver skill to pick up the letter. That is what we are referring to as far as checks go. Yeah, there's some interesting things. I'm a bit concerned, but we are in for fun. Also, this fire is not looking exceedingly hovers-locked right now, if I'll be honest.
Yeah, what with the boss key being locked behind all these other things. Hey, that's a mirror shield.
That's more likely than a scale to be pathed.
The Twin Rova? Yeah.
Well, I know fire has to be somehow behind hovers, just because hovers were the only thing in DC anyhow. So never mind. Just keel out.
Oh yeah,
silly, I think is what happened.
I keep forgetting the Kikiri Forest was the path to Bongo, so like somehow stuff behind Twin Rova. That'd be weird.
Yeah. Pierre might be the boss.
Possible.
Yeah, it is possible. That's fun. I mean, it's Mirror Shield and Scale, which are fun prospects. Because the only thing we're missing for Shadow is a magic meter at this point. we have Nocturne, we have Dins, we have hovers, we have bombs, we have a hook shot, we even have a bow, or a long shot, either or to get to Bongo. The only thing we're missing for Shadow is a magic meter.
Mm-hmm.
So that long shot, or mirror shield, or scale, locking our locking our magic meter, interesting, and that would be the only both magics or the only magic available, depending how the seed layout turns out. Yo-Yo finding the spirit boss key in the map chest.
Alright, and the Fire Temple Hammer Chest is a small key, so
Mario's gonna have to come back here.
looks like it.
Or he is gonna head outside, find the long shot on DMT Fairy, and be utterly exasperated, which he won't. Or maybe okay, playing Requiem.
Going to Requiem. That's a reasonable play at this point.
Looking for gonna finish Spirit and then perhaps GTG, or maybe vice versa. Yeah, gonna. Wait, okay, Colossus Fairy first, I think. Not sure, but he's got the desert in mind right now, which makes sense.
I don't imagine that Mr. Mario is going to not do words spirit here. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe you just reverse Wasteland and get out. He knows GTG is a path. Okay.
He's going. Okay, because Mirror Shield is also a path, but right now we know from Yo-Yo's side that Mario might end up having to do some what I shall charitably call bow shenanigans if he wants to do Spirit in this trip without a magic meter. Because the boss key's on the map chest, and the only way you can light those torches in this rule set without a magic meter / usable fire source is to go push the Armo statue up the stairs.
It's a bit of a process.
Then shoot. It is. It makes me crack up every time I see it. It beats going back child, but it is funny and slow.
Alright, well, we got fishing from Yo-Yo.
Having us a bloopy.
Alright, so Mr. Mario will be taking care of the good old GT or Gerudo Fortress situation here. Did you see what that was at the dive spot?
I have no idea, unfortunately. I am very, very, very bad at identifying freestanding items. Chat, help! Looks like arrows. Thanks, chat.
So the immediate benefit of a single scale not being is not really a thing, but again, double scale could still be a thing.
Someone saying it just happened dang Mario looks very far ahead. I mean, Mario is in a pretty good spot. Has gotten strength 2, has gotten a Kokiri sword, which got him his boomerang. He's also got a hammer that Yo-Yo's currently missing. Yo-Yo getting explosives late is really what's hurting him at the biggest at the moment. There's the other wallet. Oh no. If the wallet is what's path in Kokiri, that's the second wallet that's path. That negates fire being the direct path from Kokiri. That puts Water Temple in, however. Whoa!
And I mean that would require that either A, there be a small key in Central Pillar or some actual item in Central Pillar or the boss key if you're leading to the actual item on Morpha, or perhaps the Sun Song, which is actually gross.
At this point, that Kokiri path, that forest path to Bongo, is pointing strongly at Water Temple. Wow.
That is a big oof. Yeah, 20 skulls, still possibly a thing.
20 skulls can have something, but it is irrelevant to the Kokiri path to Bongo. And the Kag path is resolved, just as a note. Yo-Yo, I think we'll be checking 20 soon, because he does have 20 as Mario heads into GTG. Yo-Yo's gonna pick up the Keaton mask before going to Kag, which makes sense.
He's got to sort of waste a bunch of time picking up Din's Fire here. I mean, it's not going to be that much of a waste of time, because if he finally goes to pick up Din's Fire, ideally he will also pick up the Wolfos Grotto in Sacred Forest Meadow while he's there, which will grant him...
He does have Minuet from Ice,
too.
So... I mean, he has Minuet from Ice. I would expect him to play Minuet to get there, and if he forgets Wolfos Grotto when getting out of SFM from Minuet, well, that's bad.
Then we have a problem on our hands, is what we have.
Pretty much. But let's hope it doesn't come to that. We don't want to see our runners make mistakes like that where they just assume they've done a check already, because that has happened to everyone, and it feels bad every single time. 20 skulls is
We're not going to
Zora.
talk about the match that happened on ZSR1 a little while ago.
In other news, that's a Zora tunic. Oh no. So that wallet's not Path at all in Kokiri, it's the long shot.
Oof. But yeah, again, that could just be for logical GTG access.
It could. We have not seen Jabu, to be fair. Because Yo-Yo doesn't have a boomerang and Mario doesn't have letter yet. So we'll see. Magic Farewell could be in Jabu, but if it's not in Jabu, then we're in for some interesting stuff. We'll have to see. Yeah, Mario will get letters soon. He could go Child do that if he really wanted to go back for those go back for a Spirit Boss Key, because he doesn't have a way to turn it in. Though he might end up getting Magic anyhow in Jabu at this point. Let's see, where is Epona's at is the next question. We're looking at Prelude or Burning Cat. Prelude is not long shot locked necessarily. I don't know if the Colossus right hand is hinted to be dead, I believe. And I don't think anything required for Spirit was particularly long shot locked. But Burning Cat is GTG locked.
Now, if Colossus's right hand is hinted to be a small key, then that would have been key logic shenanigans.
Yep.
But yeah. Spirit key logic is a fake thing. Anyway.
There's letter for Mario. In the meantime, he's gonna still do left side just because you don't want to leave anything else in here.
And this will be the first time we get to see what's behind the Strength 2 block here in GTG.
Yep. If there is something here, that's gonna really hurt for Yo-Yo.
So you said for Yo-Yo, but I heard Froyo. And now I just want frozen yogurt. Anyway.
To be fair, I might have actually mixed up my languages. I might mix up my enunciation a bit. Words are hard.
Alright, so a nice quick rupee collection here in GTG for Mario as we move right on. And Yo-Yo's going to go get Din's Fire like you do.
Yeah. Chat and hopefully Strength too here. Chat asking, do I ever mix up my languages? Oh boy, do I do. Quite a lot, in fact. I'm getting better over time, but I have a hard time not mixing them up at least once in a while. What was that, Din? Okay, so Din's Fire is on Skull Mask. Yoyocanari is getting his Strength 2 here now. Good. And the Din's Fire Fairy has a hammer.
So yes, there were relevant answers to either of those questions you were asking.
Yep, I couldn't quite tell how to interpret it, so I answered both possibilities.
Alright,
and
Strength 2 acquired for Yo-Yo. Probably not salty at all about it. Don't know what you're talking about. Small chest. Deku Seeds, small chest on the wall. And we get to see what the size of these things is. We've got a small key and small chest. So Mr. Mario is out. Has no interest in any of this mess. So Mr. Mario, despite having the Mirror Shield, not interested in finishing out Spirit Temple right now, and instead is going Child. So probably going to take that boomerang and go make use of Ruto's letter. Yes, we did see ice. Yo-Yo actually went for rush ice o'clock. I mean, it's Rando. Rando is gonna Rando.
Yeah,
So
it's yeah, go ahead, Bob.
First and foremost, Mr. Mario is activating the Scarecrow song because he knows he's going to need it to get the boss key in Fire Temple. That is the version of Scarecrow song that I like to call Ghetto Bolero. Alright, Mr. Mario disposing of the fairy that he picked up in fire, which is perfectly fine considering it was on a quarter of a heart anyway, and picking up a fish for Jabu purposes. Like you do.
Yep. The Deku Tree had a boomerang, and that was about it for and a slingshot on Goma. That's what it was.
Yeah. And like a second bow, I think.
Yeah, and a second bow. Slingshot and bow both being completely and totally logically irrelevant, especially the slingshot because that was on Goma.
Alright. Mario, gonna go check this stone over here. Zora's... what? Zora's fountain. Okay, good job. Good job, game.
Yeah, we saw that earlier from Yo-Yo. Had to laugh at it, cause thanks, game. Brilliant. The place where you are is foolish. Thanks. No, that was the same copy Yo-Yo read. I don't think we've seen the other copy. I don't know what the other Zora's fountain hint was, to be honest, actually. So.
Alright, so Jabu Jabu time for Mr. Mario. While Yo-Yo is about to pick up the boomerang here in the compass room of Deku. Mr. Mario, of course, about to participate in the time-honored tradition of throwing small children at switches. As opposed to what my grandma used to do, which is throw switches at small children. I mean, what?
By the way, don't throw things at people, just as an note.
Correct. Don't do that.
Also, don't throw people at things. That goes both ways.
I mean, unless they ask you to throw something at them.
Yeah. Also, why does English have singular versus plural versions of verbs? Having been fluent for almost a decade, it's still the mistake I do the most. Noting in chat, a Swedish chatter. I have no idea. I mean, each language has its quirks.
Yeah, conjugation is a thing.
English is arbitrary. French is a pain in the arse to memorize. I have more than once. French has taught me the conjugations for a lot of verbs and taught me a whole bunch of new ones, as well as assorted other vocabulary of varying usefulness. So some things are pretty useful. I've learned the words like, for example, to upload, download, file, and folder in relation to various tech help items. I've gotten better at just speaking and understanding French in general, thanks to the Rando Francophone communities. But I've also learned a lot of vocabulary that's not so useful. I'll never really need to know the word for... I don't think I'll ever really need to know the word for shovel, for example, as we get... Oh no, why are there a pair of iron boots in here?
What, you're not gonna commentate a Link to the Past randomizer race in French?
I do, actually. That's where I learned the word. I meant in real life, that's not random. Outside of random, I don't think I'll ever use the word for shovel.
Wait, rando's not real life? What have I been doing with myself?
Rando. I should have maybe reworded that. Outside of rando, I don't think I'll ever really need the French word for shovel. Or that for lullaby, or, I recently learned the word for raft.
Alright, so Mr. Mario picking up the iron boots in Jabu. So yeah, that stone water play is looking more and more and more potentially required here.
Yep.
Oh, what if it's for storms?
Storms where? Sorry, I'm not presently following.
Well, what if there's like something that's required for, like, I'm trying to get bottom of the well in here as well, just so we can have every dungeon. You know what I mean?
Well,
Jabu does be a process. Like,
Jabu does lock burning cack, and to be fair, but by the time we get burning cack, about the only thing that's left is lights, if that.
Yeah. And I don't think there could be anything else required for Spirit. Maybe fire source, magic.
We have, well, our magic is the thing we're looking for, Bob.
Yeah.
So it's not that, and we have everything else. We have projectiles for both ages. We have strength 2. We have bombs. We have a hook shot. We have mirror shield. We have everything.
I just wanted bottom of
We
the
have
well
CL for that matter. Deku Tree had a boomerang, a bow, and a slingshot.
So, logically relevant, the boomerang.
Yeah.
And Yo-Yo is, following the steps of Mr. Mario here for the same process.
Yes, French does have exceptions, but then again, every language has exceptions. Have you seen the mess that is English plurals? Or, English pronunciation?
Have you ever attempted any sort of natural language processing? Period. Good lord.
Also that.
How about you don't say you didn't?
Yes, Azure, exactly. The most common words tend to be the ones with the weirdest rules, since these are the words they made first before any rules were established. The French words with the French verbs with the absolute worst conjugation rules in the language, the most convoluted and most obnoxious, are the verbs to be, to have, and to do.
Yeah, there you go.
They largely, completely, and totally throw any and all grammar rules out the window. You just have to memorize it. Unfortunately, they're also the three most common verbs in language, both on their own as to be, to have, and to do. They're also frequently used in a wide assortment of expressions.
The one special thing I know
And
about the French
especially,
language.
and the other thing too, especially to be and to have are also used in compound tenses. So they're really everywhere. To do is frequently used in a humongous variety of expressions.
Mr.
And of
Mario
course,
starting the Baronade fight here. Um, Again, very clean here. Just absurd how clean this fight can be done.
oh,
You know
for
exactly what
sure.
you're doing. And for
Going
those of
very
you
well
wondering,
so
yes,
far.
the damage here is intentional.
It gets Baronade to move faster.
Yeah, the one thing I know about the French language is there is a society of people devoted to like maintaining the French language as opposed to the English language, which has no such thing, and they call themselves the Immortals.
Hmm. And
Which is
there's a
not
heart container.
pretentious at all. Um,
So, if Longshot is in fact past Gerudo's letter, considering that Ice Cavern had approximately nada besides a logically irrelevant minuet, um, if Longshot is path for Jabu, it's because of Iron Boots, which then moves background into water. Fun.
or there's that. We could have like Tektite Grotto with that, which we haven't seen.
It depends where Gold Scale's gone off to at that point.
And has anyone? Did anybody say toilet? Because I just said toilet.
That is a thing, yes. No one's mentioned it. Iron Boots were in Jabu zeroing. And yes, we've gotten into a bit of a language discussion. I do tend to intentionally and unintentionally end up in this. Language is just one of those things
what
I'm
with the
really
whole?
interested in as a trilingual
Just the
threat.
fact that a full three languages to some degree of functionality that requires a lot of effort, and I can understand where that comes in.
Yeah, I grew up bilingual. My parents, I'm from the U.S. My parents are both from China, and without going into too much detail, I've actually lived in China for extended periods of time as well. It's been a
Cool.
while, especially with the pandemic, but so my Chinese has worsened considerably in recent years, last 2 years specifically.
Right. So Mr.
Um,
Mario is now headed for, well, I guess maybe he's gonna go buy a Goron tunic here. Nope.
he might.
It up.
No. I was like, he doesn't really need it.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I guess he's going to the forest, and this is one of the quicker ways to do that on account of having not gone to ice. Right. So he's going to ice.
Yeah,
That's where he's going.
he's going to ice, yes. I think that's a case of him looking for that, what on earth is the path. Why is Mario not going Spirit? I'll be honest, I don't know at this point. He might be hunting his Shadow Path. He does not have his long shot as a point as well. I don't know when he's getting his long shot.
I thought he was going to get it right there when he went to the whole whatchamacallit.
Moron City?
Yeah. I thought he was going to maybe go to the crater ferry and then the actual ferry, but I guess that didn't happen. That did not work as well as Mario had intended.
Yeah. Alright, I'm actually wildly bored, so I've put out a poll. So I've now stuck up a poll. Hey chat, why is Longshot Path? Our options, more or less, are Tektite, Toilet, Shoot the Sun, Water Temple, and AD.
There should be a another option on there for because the seed hates the runners. That's why.
I think AD for Suns is what that would be, Bob.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, so those are basically your options, chat. Toilet, Tektite, Shoot the Sun, Water, and AD are more or less what it boils down to. There's also there's only 5 options on the poll also, so that's what I went with.
Shows
Which
how
is why I
much I've
didn't
used the
specify
features
specific.
built into Twitch.
Yeah. There's also, yeah, I'm using the inbuilt Twitch poll function. There's also just otherwise I might have separated out the checks and water, but there's too many other options, so have fun, chat.
Alright, so we got Big Octo for Yo-Yo. Mr. Mario rehashing the ice that Yo-Yo did earlier. Mr. Mario being able to do a very nice deal on account of having picked up that blue fire earlier. Being able to pick up or go into the side room first. That's definitely going to be faster, especially if you don't need the item in the map chest.
Longshot is DMT Fairy. Mario did the crater area before getting ZL was his issue, so he hasn't been back.
So I am irrationally excited about what I just saw on Mr. Mario's side, where he used the hover boots to get that one rupee that's in the air in ice and did a backflip as he was picking it up and landed back on the platform so he doesn't have to climb it twice. That's a very, minor, like it's not like, it's a trick that's probably fairly difficult to execute actually, given the margin there. But it actually saves like a second and a half or 2 just from climbing back up. And, again, not a huge amount of time, but over the course of a run, time saves like that are going to really add up. And it just shows the sort of dedication and the amount of time that Mario has put into this sort of thing.
Oh, absolutely. Mario is also the person who wrote the guide to peeking things in chest size matches contents. And is
where is this guy?
Let me go find it. I'm pretty sure I have it bookmarked somewhere.
I'm guessing it's hidden in a Discord somewhere. Anyway,
it's also pinned in the OoTR Discord, I think, in the standard channels, but it's also at that link right there.
Fair enough. So yeah, just the sheer amount of actual preparation that these runners have put in, it makes me feel entirely inadequate. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's why they're in the top 64. They've earned their spots here. Why is Mario doing everything that's not Spirit Temple? I'm not sure either. I guess he's looking for magic. Because Spirit is not in any fashion whatsoever at all locked behind his Kokiri Forest path to Bongo. Like, those are entirely separate things that are completely unrelated in this scene at this point. I don't know either.
Well, he's going to pick up Minuet here, and that's about it.
A lens game is the BGS they're never getting. Magic is not in Spirit Temple, otherwise the Bongo path makes absolutely no sense. We have Nocturne, we have Dins, we have Hookshot, we have Bombs, we have Longshot and Bow to do the statue, we have ZL, and that entire thing is correct. And the other thing is, Longshot is not for Spirit Key logic. The hand was hinted to be dead. Otherwise, we would be mentioning it.
Alright, looks like Mr. Mario's going to go pick up the Scarecrow again, because we know that's going to be necessary. My guess is he might do the Lab Dive cheese here.
I think that you should, and I mean, you might as well if they're here, I guess. We don't know where
Yeah.
Gold Scale is.
I mean, you could also do adult fishing, because why not?
Which, I mean, you're here. It could still be your lights, even if it shouldn't be your magic.
So we got
Yo-Yo doing out of logic.
Going for out of logic big pose.
Yeah, cause Epona is definitely magic locked, Spirit is magic locked, the, well, we don't know 100%, I don't think there was a key on Sunblock, but in any case, it's a logic for now, potentially.
Yes, there was. There was a key on
Is there a key on Sunblock? Never mind, so yeah, Spirit is magic locked, because the boss key was on me. Okay. Mr. Sunblock was a key. I knew there was a key on Child Climb and Child Side, but it was the Sunblock, and boss key was the map chest. So
And just to deck your shield on the on the fishing situation.
Yeah. Boss key on map chest does not itself make Spirit magic lock. It is a small key that does. Because the small keys that are relevant for opening the doors in Spirit, boss key only opens the door to Twin Roba and is otherwise logically irrelevant to the rest of the temple. It is the small keys that matter.
Right,
and for those who want to learn more about Spirit Key Logic, I am posting the Spirit Temple Key Logic document. It's easier than trying to read it all out.
I'm assuming it's just going to be a Rickroll. I'm kidding.
It's actually not. Alright, Tektonite Grotto is not it.
Okay. Goodbye, Tektonite
Also, I believe
Grotto.
Water Temple won the poll.
Right, that is a blue rupee sitting up on top of the lab, so now we go for Lab Dive Cheese.
That's a pointer from chat that didn't come up, is that Mario doesn't know it's Longshot. That's Patton, and that would be that's Patton Kokiri. He thinks it's still just Hookshot. He has no idea where Longshot is. So he's doing this anyhow, so I don't know.
He's also having a hard time rolling into the box.
He really is.
Because
That's
water physics are dumb.
They are. Yo-Yo in Water Temple. Going to see if the magic meter isn't here, if it's on Shoot the Sun, or if it's somewhere else. Why is there a gold gauntlets on Lab Dive?
Oh boy! Oh no!
That's this item. I guess we're looking at OGC.
Thing.
It could be if Longshot's locking Gold Skill, and that's why it's path. For this.
What? Yeah, watch Yo-Yo just pick up Gold Scale somewhere in here, just to add insult to whatever this is.
Yeah, well, Mario getting more of the logic piece together regarding why Kokiri isn't path. Because Lab Dive was something he's considering for his scale behind a wallet, I believe, but that wallet nerfs that. Logic, everyone!
Nice little hover boots side hop to get to the middle chest here. Save ya, chew. Yep, small key in the first two chests here. In water.
Yeah, there's the other copy of the Kokiri Path Ongo hint. If it's AD for a scale to get Strength 3 to get magic off of GC, it's gonna be amazing. Alpha Mario X.
I love it.
I would die laughing. Personally, but it would be great.
Alright, so all of the entire world now comes back and breathes a sigh of relief as Mr. Mario is now entering Spirit Temple.
Yep. Oh yeah, Yo-Yo's still missing a hammer, I forgot that, but he does need to get his hammer from the Hyrule Castle Fairy, and I don't know when he's getting it, because I generally forgot that he hadn't gotten it during his last child cycle.
Alright, garbage on the Lullaby chest. I believe it was also garbage over here.
I think so. Alright, Water Bosky chest is a Goron tunic. Thanks, game! Completely and totally logically irrelevant, but nice to have. Thanks. No keys on Adult Side Spirit, so you had to go child for this one. Thanks. I'm also currently tracking Water Temple keys to see where they ended up. I did not see what that was.
Yeah, nothing relevant in the pull block room.
Was that just a small regular chest? I kind of missed it.
Regular chest.
A small key would have actually been of some interest.
Yeah. Alright. Compass chest is the boss key.
Is the boss key. Also logically relevant.
Oh, we got a big chest on the other Colossus's right hand.
Yep.
The inner Colossus right hand. Maybe the Gargantua's right hand.
Yeah. This
There's
could be a magic locked magic, technically, which it is not. It is our last bomb back. Or another bomb back, sorry. But yes, anything 3 key locked in Spirit, since there were only 3 available keys, is magic locked. So Top of Spirit could have an logic magic meter from Mario here.
Alright, Morpha going down for Yo-Yo pretty soon here. Right, unable to get it stuck against the wall.
Thor strats are hard, especially on Master Sword.
Yeah. But I mean,
Now he has to wait.
Just the fact that you can actually get the the quick pull there is impressive enough to me.
It is very impressive, and that is Morpha down for Yo-Yo. Mario taking a spin around the room to get in to move on in Spirit. Sadly, we know that he will not be able to find his boss key, at least not without doing some serious shenanigans. Due to the fact that he doesn't have a magic meter. And that's what we're looking for. And the boss key is on the map chest. That is a small key on Morpha, okay. And there's a last spirit key on this invisible left chest.
Mm-hmm.
Happy 2 hours, everyone. Dark Link may be Longshot locked. I'm not sure we have enough information for it yet.
Alright, so the sun has been shot. It is just a piece of heart.
It is not that.
So rip that.
It was also not the there was also not magic meter on the Colossus left hand. As shoutouts to, let's give some shoutouts. Shoutouts to our runners, Mr. Mario and Yoyocanari, to my co-com Bob, to our trackers Carliana and Toad, our restreamer Siberian, and merci beaucoup also to our French restream, Mieka and Zoro.
Alright.
Spirit here for Yo-Yo, who can actually finish it. He does have a boss key.
So the official boss key chest, what do we have here?
That is big. And
Bomb bag number 3.
thanks, game. I guess that explains how the DMT one was passed. Both of the others are bomb locked. Thanks, game. Really, thanks. Much appreciated.
Garbage chest there for in the sunblock, or the sunblock, the mirror room. And off we go. So he's going to be able to do that. One thing that is a little bit unknown. In order to get the little platform here to stay down, you have to knock the face off the statue. If you don't do that, the platform doesn't stay down.
Yep, alright. Mario is going to first do Sunblock because it is the faster of these two checks to do Bow-less. To do Magic less. It is slower normally, but with the Fire Source, but it is faster without. We will afterwards see an Armless Push because Mario knows that there are 2 checks remaining. One is a small key, the other is the boss key, and he's going to find out that this is the small key.
So yeah, we are going to see, for once, all of these silver rupees being collected in order to activate the torch here.
Yeah, and then we'll see a very cool trick here from Mario. You can, in fact, with some careful inputs and some precise timing, shoot your bow through the torch in time to light all 3. It requires some finicky positioning, some backflips, or alternatively pushing the block, and a fair bit of patience. There we go. Nicely done.
The first one there clearly being the most finicky, so it's the one you do first.
Yep.
Very well done by Mr. Mario.
Yeah, this trick's a little gross. The other one Mario's going to do to get these bosses.
You want to talk about gross tricks?
Wait, wait.
It's perhaps not as difficult to execute, this one that's coming up, but it is very gross.
It makes me crack up every single time without fail. Mario nearly doing it, almost pushing the arrow statue off in the wrong direction. So, this, in Spirit Temple or the map chest, you are expected in the vanilla game to use a stick To light the torches, using the one from the top by the sunblock room or in Randomizer, typically you're supposed to have a fire source to light it. Bending spirit key logic, of course. There is, however, an alternative. You
So
are able
essentially,
to.
what we're doing is
Again,
we
I'm
are
cracking up
getting
because every
ourselves a point, a platform on which we can stand in order to aim the bow down through the torch
to
onto
light them
torches below. And that platform is an Armos statue. And you have to push it all the way up the stairs, which is
It
some
is
kind
slow.
of dumb. But yeah, luckily getting up on top of the statue is not actually all that hard. I think it's just a backflip.
It is, pretty much. It's just getting the statue up here takes forever. And it makes me crack up every time because it looks so ridiculous. There we are. So you light one and then you jump down and light the other. You can do both from above, but why bother?
And
And that's
Mr. Mario
Mario's boss.
acquires the boss key.
Oh, that's a
So
point.
there you go.
Yo-Yo can't complete this. He doesn't have a mirror shield, right? Because that's at the top of fire.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So it's unfortunate for Yo-Yo. It's also unfortunate for Mr. Mario. It's just
Yeah,
unfortunate all around.
it is. We're having a good day, and this is a scene.
Welcome to Ocarina of Time Randomizer, home of unfortunate everything.
Exactly. Alright, that's prelude for Yo-Yo. Probably gonna go get that Sun Song and see what that leads to. Yeah, Maru does not have long shot. As far as he can figure, his Kokiri path is for a hook shot. Which is not very useful information, all things considered. You do need a hook shot to beat Shadow Temple right in and of itself, and for all he knows right now, his long shot's in Shadow or in Ganon's. Mario is able to finish fire. He got Pierre locked out earlier, is what happened to him.
Yep. So he did go ahead and get the new Pierre, the song set up a little earlier. And I imagine that will happen sooner rather than later. Nice RNG for Mr. Mario here with the additional, like a right-away shot from Kome there.
Yeah, Pierre locked us out. Mario got mirror. He went all the way to the top to the compass chest, I think is where the mirror was, and got his.
And
So
Yo-Yo
actually
picking up Sun Song for the
Alright.
one check. I guess right now, if I were Yo-Yo, I'd actually do 2 checks. I'd probably do Sun Song. I'd probably play Sun Song first to get the digging set up properly. Because if you play it now, you don't get Dompe digging because it's after Dompe's here.
Has he done Dompe digging yet? I actually don't remember.
I don't think anybody's done Dompe digging.
I know somebody did.
Really? Okay. Well then, pay no attention to any shenanigans I'm talking about. Mr. Mario with a very nice timing situation on Twin Rova, taking down the 1 cycle.
Yep. And it's a big
Oh
chest!
no! Oh
Is
no!
this it?
Oh, are you kidding me right now, game? Get out! Jesus! What?
That's a magicator behind it.
Oh my goodness, this game.
You're welcome, chat. I gave you the legendary Oops AD for Sun Song Seed.
Wow. I mean, unless there's some other magic available. I mean, Mr. Mario just picked up Song of Storms. So maybe there's
Mario
another magic available in
and there
the well
possible,
or something.
because that is logically magic locked. Yes, I roll this seed. If second magic is in Shadow, AD is hard required. If second magic is in the well, Mario is semi-bailed out. That is logically magic locked still, but this is shenanigans. Siberian, do we want to do a bet for lights? Yeah, so Fun knows is on Burning Cack today. Because we're not seeing our light arrows head for a while. They've got a ways to go.
Now Yo-Yo is going to be able to take care of Shadow Temple here, no problem. We are not really going to be watching intently what Yo-Yo picks up here in Shadow because we saw that it was hinted foolish.
Yeah,
so
it can't
the
have
only
a second
thing
magic.
Yeah, that is true. The only thing we're looking for really or that Yo-Yo's really looking for here are good old small keys and a boss key.
Yeah.
5 total small keys, all of which are necessary in the standard rule set.
Yeah. Yes. Spirit is logically magic locked.
Horseback archery, who hurt you?
I mean, it's quite possible. I bet river chests. Because Aviarian, you might want to add to the OT command that Sun Song got there. What appears to currently be the only magic meter in the seed.
So yeah, as Star was saying just a moment ago, it is possible, even though it is a foolish shadow, it is possible for the second magic to be in here because that is not strictly necessary.
Well, it's a little more complicated than that. If we're going to get technical, major items like these can normally not be foolish if they can logically lock an item, unless it is an item where the copies are functionally identical, and one other copy is Way of the Hero. So you can never get a foolish hookshot or a foolish bomb. You can never get a foolish hookshot or a foolish strength upgrade. But bomb bags, slingshots, magics, chew packs if they're in logic. Yeah, bomb bags, slingshots, magics, chew packs, bows.
Bows, yeah.
And those are functionally identical across all copies. The next one is nice to have, but it doesn't logically unlock anything new. These items, which are functionally identical across all copies for logic purposes, can be foolish if one other copy is Way of the Hero. So, let's see. In this case, today we have a bomb bag that was Way of the Hero in DMT, Path to King Dodongo, for a bomb bag on top of DC. That is because both of the other bomb bags were in Spirit Temple. If there had been absolutely nothing else remotely interesting in Spirit, that could have been foolish. But if there had been 2 bomb bags available for with nothing else, like if there had been a bomb bag on top of DC and one in Mito's house instead, for example, then the third could not be foolish. So I have in fact rolled a seed where, or another example would be if there are 2 bows in CAC and 1 bow on HBA, Fortress is not foolish because the bow on HBA is not, because there is no Way of the Hero bow, but if there is 1 bow on CAC and 2 bows on HBA, then the bow can be Way of the Hero and the other 2 can be hinted foolish. I have actually in fact rolled 2 bows on HBA before. That was a giggle and a half.
Beautiful. Alright.
I basically died laughing.
So we've got a nice little hunt for keys and such on Yo-Yo's side. Gets the boss key. We do see Mr. Mario getting Volvagia down. And just a small key, as you might have expected. So, I'm not looking at the actual restream right now, but people are talking about the Oops All Dungeons thing. I can only assume that's a cereal box.
Yes, there is a picture of getting on the cereal box saying "Oops, all dungeons."
Very nice. I love it.
Yep.
Oh no!
What did Mario just do? I kind of zoned out.
Well, he was in the fire area, and still has not done Crater Fairy. I mean, not Crater Summit Fairy.
That could be a problem, you know.
We're also doing some out of logic pose situation.
Yep. Because this could have lights, from his perspective. It can't be a magic meter, or at least not the first magic, but it could be lights, or it could be his second magic. So how's the seed going? It's AD for Sunsong for the magic. On the Sunsong Grave, because why wouldn't it be? You can get a bonus without Kona. It's a 40% chance, as proven by DCOM, so there is a lot of information. There's a lot of different numbers out there. There's 40% chance of spawning a big poo on foot. It is a trick you can enable in chat as well. In the non-chat, in the randomizer as well, to do Polis Eponas. It is quite possible. Just the logic doesn't assume you. It doesn't account for the 40% chance. Now, Bolas Eponas is much more difficult. Bolas Pose, sorry, is much more difficult. Bolas Pose basically involves running the Po over with Epona, or alternatively, having fun with Choose.
And Bolas Eponaless Pose sounds like a TAS thing.
It used to be done in speedruns, actually, is to do so with Bomb Choose. The alternative is to use Epona and no bow, is to, for all intents and purposes, basically run the Po over with Epona. The technical explanation is longer. But, big chest, which is... there's our last slingshot, thanks. Well, the first slingshot locked both other slingshots, so that's how the Shadow is foolish, despite having a slingshot in it, is because the other two slings were, sling blocked, because... Okay, that also confirms that... Yeah. Oh, that does also confirm, because the other slingshot was on Goma, and... Yeah, never mind. Yeah, because the first slingshot locks both the other slingshots, so... And the only way it locks a Shadow Winton is if the first slingshot locks magic, which it only does by dint of, well, Sunsong Grave behind Deku, which, yeah. Game!
So, that just means that there's literally no chance that we missed another magic somewhere.
Not in logic, at least.
Yeah.
Though the path into Bongo should have told us that anyway. I'm a bit tired, but yes, the logic on this is getting a bit atrocious.
There's the second fire source.
I mean, for all Mario knows, he gets to Ganons without Logshot and has to get Shadow Trial 2 for his light. Non-jokingly, actually.
What
yeah, that was also about
precisely is Mr. Mario doing over here?
Back to GTG. I don't think he actually full cleared this place earlier.
Oh, toilet.
Toilet would make sense.
I'm like, he
I'm
full
getting
cleared
a-
most of it. Like, he did the block, the silver block, and everything. I think this is toilet and nothing else.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, he knows that GTG is path for letter. That's straightforward and clear. Although he doesn't know how he's supposed to logically get letter, he does have letter. That much is known. He is confused about the bongo path. The bongo path to him right now is a hookshot, basically. Where's the long shot he needs? DMT Fairy. When he was up there last, he didn't have. So the first time he was clearing out the DMC Upper Grotto and all that, he didn't have ZL, so he couldn't do the fairy at that time, and at this point I think he's more or less forgotten about it.
That's going to be quite unfortunate going forward.
Oh, I forgot that letter is technically path to Twin Rova. Let's see, why is letter path to Twin Rova? I have somewhat. Well, in this case, it's for
I mean,
iron.
where was Mirror Shield again? Yeah.
Mirror Shield was Fire
Wasn't
Compass
fire.
Room.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a point that Mario doesn't actually know why GTG is path to Twin Rova specifically. We know it's for the letter, but he doesn't. I'd generally forgotten that bit of things. I just kind of assumed GTG was for Baronite directly, but nope. Just GTG is path to Twin Rova because Iron Boots lock water, which lock magic, which lock spirit for keys. But yeah, Mario doesn't actually know that. That is a point, chat. In any case, it's from his perspective. We know what it is, but like we're also the people who are sitting here chilling in our rooms and just watching them play. We have seen both their perspectives. We are not trying to play the game and think at the same time, which is harder than it sounds.
Significantly, yes.
So we can only ever speculate their thought processes. With time and experience, we can get better at knowing general reasons why people do things that they do, but
Part of me thought that might have
we
been
are not
Mimu's
them.
love up there in the waterfall.
It might have been.
Very nice one cycle bongo with the Master Sword. That's harder to do than it looks.
Mm.
You basically got to get the the guitar solo to Freebird in your head.
Mm-hmm. Alright, heart container. So, magic was not in Shadow Temple, in which case it's... Well, double magic is probably just sitting in Ganon's, or like the Wasteland or some such thing.
So the one way that Mario could get bailed out here is if it's in bottom of the well, but again, he's adult, so he's going into water anyway.
Mm-hmm. Alright, Yo-Yo's gonna find out that fire is hammer-locked. So at this point, Yo-Yo needs a mirror shield, which is behind the hammer, which he needs from the Din's Fairy. I don't know when Yo-Yo's getting to the Hyrule Castle Fairy. They're both missing fairy fountains this seed that are hurting them right now. Mario needs a DMT one, Yo-Yo needs the Hyrule Castle one, and I don't know when either of them is getting to that fairy fountain they need at this point.
Yeah, I'm just imagining both of these runners. I'm imagining, the Great Fairy. She comes out with that really high pitched laugh, like. I'm imagining that over and over and over, pointing at both of these two runners. That's what's happening. That's what's running through my head right now. I am sorry that image is now in your head.
Yeah. Yes, double magic could be in the well, which might bail Mario out, but he also knows it's out of logic. He's currently following... He knows that magic is also logically locking spirits, so he's following more or less his Ruto's letter to Iron Boots right now. Yeah, Storms is on Prelude. Burning Cat is a Kono song. Yeah, there were 2 keys in the basement loop, so I'm pretty sure you'll get Hammer locked out of here really quickly. Which is good, because he needs to come back here with the hammer.
It's the prequel song for Storms. And of course, playing songs is in fact the hardest boss in this game. Two slightly different methods to get to the second floor here for both runners, both of which, look extremely cool. That's all I'm gonna say. Alright. So Yo-Yo's gonna do the adult fishing thing. All these hookshot checks that we saw earlier from Mr. Mario. Well, Mr. Mario is going to continue clearing out a bunch of water. Very nice backflip over the spikes here. And doing the glitchless jump despite it being entirely unnecessary. Because of having the hover boots there. I suppose if you're used to it, it's probably faster.
Okay.
But yeah, Mr. Mario will not be able to finish water right now. He has to get the long shot. So the first one was just readily available in Mido's house. The other one was up on Death Mountain Trail at the ferry. And Mr. Mario, for some reason, just skipped that location. So it's going to be a hot minute before he gets back over there. Both runners looking for or needing to get to a particular ferry for their reward. Everyone's looking for just the right ferry, and that's not a euphemism.
Yep.
Alright, so Mr. Mario now heading to Dark Link.
There's strength 3 for Yo-Yo. It's gonna do OGC, which I really, really hope reminds him of the Hyrule Castle Ferry. Yeah, we never saw a 30 hint. It might be lights, it's not the magic. It's not the other magic. Alright, Dark Link and River Test. Dark Link has a key.
Alright, outside Ganon's castle. Might pick up the skull here while you're at it.
I don't know. Not bothering, don't blame him. The odds are not that high of lights being here. Until lights are on 38 for the
Yeet.
final.
That rock.
And that's a small chest on the river.
And a piece of heart at OGC. No real surprises there.
Nope.
And Yo-Yo now headed for Spirit.
Hoping for a French vanilla mirror shield or vanilla, which I don't blame him. Makes sense at this point.
Looks like he's heading back through Wasteland, I guess.
Oh, he is.
Because he definitely did leave the items behind Strength 2 in GTG.
That is true. He left those behind. He's also left Wasteland as a check to get on the way as well.
Yeah.
Mirror Shield is at the top of Fire Temple, Compass Chest, which is hammerlocked because there were 2 keys in the basement loop.
Mr. Mario peeking the underwater or the central pillar chest, which is something I learned today that you can do. I should really read that guide.
Yeah.
Alright, Mr. Mario is playing Bolero of Fire. This could be leading to the proper destination here.
Well, he is heading across the bridge, which is good.
And he's going past Goron City, so once again, so he's going to Crater Ferry. If he also goes to Summit Ferry, then we're in business. I'm glad that NPC opens the gate now from the back. That used to not happen. And here we go. One long shot being delivered to Mr. Mario.
That is going to be, though he has to at least suspect it, because he's really running out of stuff to do in logic. This should be go mode for it. Basically what we know to be close to glow mode at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever light arrows are, they can get them.
Yep.
They have found everything in the game.
Alright, Mr. Mario is going back into water, so that is gonna get him the magic.
And yeah, that should be more or less GG's, just fairy fountains. Both played pretty well through this seed, had some decent routing, different diverging routes that got interesting. Late explosives hurting Yo-Yo some, that's why he didn't check out Castle Fairy's late explosives, and then just other things to do. And Mario just That ZL being late for him is what hurt the most. And here we are. Shadow is long, but Deep Fire is also really long. Is the issue. Like, it takes a while to go all the way up to Compass Chest.
Alright, we've got Master Sword Door Strats. Well done for Mr. Mario completing
GG.
the Morpha fight. That's the trick with Door Strats for Master Sword. You gotta get it in that little corner there. Makes it much harder to run away. And Yo-Yo is not happy with what he is seeing here.
I wouldn't be either, to be honest. That hammer just feels bad at this point.
So
Like,
where
he's had
will
other things to
Yo-Yo go
do.
next?
Hyrule Castle Fairy is one of those things that it's something that it's easy to not have the items for when you first go, and then by the time you do have the items for it, you've got other things to do and other things in your mind, and it just slips your mind. It's happened to us all for any number of checks, and it's just how Randomizer goes sometimes, and that's unfortunately about where Yo-Yo's gotten stuck today. And the same goes for Mr. Mario, with just that he ran out of checks faster. Before he got to his missing fairy fountain.
Alright.
Prelude.
Mr. Mario now heading into Child Time to go pick up the Sun Song.
I think Yo-Yo is finally going to get Hyrule Castle Fairy. I think he's also running out of checks at this point. Okay, going to save and then save Scum in case there's nothing on this fairy, because it takes a bit to go back adult, and it's pretty fast reset on RetroArch.
Mr. Mario also going for the reset strat here, just because the starting point for Child is literally right outside of Market.
I forgot that. I think Yo-Yo might have forgotten too, because he actually played Serenade for the Owl. Alright, OT get for Mario, Yo-Yo
Mario,
getting...
are you okay? There we go.
Thank you. OT get for Mario, Yo-Yo is going to go pick up his hammer, and then we'll see. I think Shadow is still going to be faster than Hyrule Castle, at least, than all of Fire, and then finishing off Spirit. Twin Robe is really long, and Fire's not that fast either. So at least Yo-Yo at least doesn't have to double dip Fire because he doesn't have Pierre, because that's cost Mario a few minutes a while ago. This is still closer than it perhaps looks at first glance. It's within 5 or 10 minutes, probably. It's if it's and then it's just wherever light arrows ended up. Okay,
Yep.
Prelude for Yo-Yo.
And
Mario
one magic meter going to be acquired here.
I mean, Mario's probably not happy, but also it's not like he has anything else left in the game, really, at this point, logically, so... next question. Why are you walking out of here, Mario? Oh, Dante dicking.
Dante? Yeah.
Okay, he hasn't actually done this. I mean, you might as well. If this is light arrows, yeah, you save time.
You really just don't want to have to come back Child ever again at this point if you can help it.
Clearing Fire is faster than Shadow, but Spirit adds several minutes.
Yeah, I do think it's again going to be a very close race, highly execution based here. So.
Yo-Yo is also understandably checking the Crater Fairy here, which does make sense. If this is his Mirror Shield, he can go mode Fire, but if it's not, then well, he loses a slight bit of time and might have done this anyway afterwards.
I believe the Mirror Shield actual location was the Compass Chest?
That's what I think it is, yeah. The shield is after the boss key. Boss key is on Pierre, mirror shield is at the compass chest. Yo-Yo does not need to beat full Vegeta to go higher. Mario climbed all the way to the top looking for a boss key because he didn't have Pierre. We're hoping that Yo-Yo sticks around. He doesn't actually have a whole lot else to do, honestly, besides continue in Fire Temple, so I hope he continues.
Yeah, Mario did not bother with the well, because again, it wasn't in logic, and I don't blame him. But if there was another magic there, it could have saved him the grief of finishing out water. Mr. Mario getting the first spin on the spinner in Shadow Temple. Good old 1 in 3 RNG. For those of you who don't know, don't bother trying to aim it at the first two there. Though actually, it wasn't really RNG. He had the lens out. What am I talking about? He actually used it, in fact, like used it for the actual intended strategy. What is wrong with my brain?
Rain is hard. We've also been here for almost 3 hours, Bob.
I mean, I have seen seeds in S5 approach or even cut under the 2-hour mark. This is not one of those.
This is definitely not one of those, no.
Yeah, Frogs 2 is in fact dead. By a hint. Frogs 1 isn't dead. That's a thing that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Mr. Mario heading into the hovers locked portion of Shadow, which is the vast majority of Shadow, of course.
Yeah.
I believe there's also a small key in this room. Alright, and I think there was nothing super relevant in here, so yeah, Mario piecing the heck out.
And hey VXR, it was AD for Sunsong because the only magic gear was there. I actually don't roll them in the AD for Sunsong scene. This is something of a rarity, but it's also great. VXR is very familiar with the nonsense I've rolled over a time.
It's a work of art, basically. And the great thing about it is it's a work of art that you have very, very little to actually do with. It's like, you hit a button, and it's like, okay, here you go.
Yeah, this one is going. I have a terrible seeds. I have a folder in my computer for truly awful seeds, and this is heading in there for. Thanks to the Oops AD game. Let's lose your bracket round 6. 88 versus. Alright. It was kind of hinted. There was Kokiri Forest Path to Bongo Bongo for a long shot, which Took a while to figure out, but it was in fact the only was in fact for magic for AD because water was a stone, and then there was also the Rudo's letter path to Twinrova because Rudo's letter Iron Boots were in Jabu, which again locks Water Temple to do AD for magic to get a spirit key from the Sunblock room to beat the seed.
Nope.
Yoyocanari.